activity that is conducted on our side of that whole thing, not the residents. So, you know, the painting, parking lines and things of that nature.
Trees
So-
for the tree replacement, tree trimming as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So is it 20?
I'll check.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Councilmember Kennedy?
So you just need the binders and the dividers, you don't need the pages if we've got notes on them and the rest of that, is it?
No, oh no, I don't need the pages. Yes, I realize that as we've gone through this long process with the budget approval, there might be notes or personal things that you want to keep to look back on. So yeah, you feel free to give back what you want. If you feel more comfortable, I can just give you the documents and you can insert them.
Okay.
Because I realize some people may want to keep the original documents with the new ones on top. Whichever works best for you, just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
So, and thanks everyone for your patience on this process.
Anyone else have anything? Okay, thank you, Patricia. This time, we'll open the floor for public comment. Please remember to state your name and address, and our 2-minute time limit.
Judy Keeling, 62180 Arlington Circle. I'd like to suggest that you go to the Active Adult Center to talk about the roads with seniors, because you'll actually talk to a lot more seniors at the Active Adults, and it'll cover a lot more condominiums, because it's a variety of people there, and they really have a great turnout for seniors. So I'd like to support them a lot. Also, the Veteran Memorial Garden, everyone pitched in before Memorial Day, and the landscaper and us weeders, and it's all beautiful. The planters are there, the flowers are there, the new wreaths there, and it looks great. I was there last week, and it's really looking good. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think you just need a deadline.
All right, with no one else coming up, we'll close our public comment and move on to the manager's report with City Manager Zelnick.
I want to update you regarding the City Hall construction update. You can see some of the materials for the roof replacement were delivered, and the work is starting actually this week. Mechanical, windows, and parking lot will take place later this summer and actually in the fall as well. We finished the installation of the parking lot and restored the area across the street from the new water tank that was installed. We'll be defining that with parking blocks and additional area for parking for the historical village, as well as potentially other activities within that area that is owned by the city. The council chamber equipment has been installed. As you can see, we have some of it actually in operation. We're going to be conducting training with staff this week. And the last item is the ARPA, which is the federal funds that the City of South Lyon is to be receiving. We're awaiting information regarding allowable uses, some printouts that Patricia and I were expecting very soon. When we get this information, we will give a presentation about the potential uses and the allocated funds at a future City Council meeting.
Anyone have anything for the city manager tonight? Councilmember Hanson, go ahead.
I spoke to a couple residents over the last week, and a couple of them had questions as far as some of the looks around downtown. I took a walk last couple days downtown and took some pictures, like the city lamp posts and such look like they need a new coat of paint. Is there a timetable or plan to repaint those, or?
We haven't, but actually the DDA director, Nate, and I have actually talked about this just this past week about some of the ones that were kind of paint was peeling on them. It's a maintenance item that we just need to make sure that we do address.
Is there any thought as far as some of the pavers, because you've got the curb, the pavers, and then sidewalk, maybe leveling them, because a lot of the pavers have kind of become unlevel, and a lot of dirt and debris is getting caught between the curb and the pavers, because...
Yeah, the DPW has adjusted some in the past. We hope to redo a huge section of this when we in fact redo the streetscape program, which is part of the design that Nate with his group was actually working on as well.
Okay. And I don't know if it's been mentioned in the past, any ETA as far as the clock being on time again?
I don't have anything. I know Nate had, I think, advised council, I think 3 out of the 4 sides were correct. So it's going to be South Line, South Line, and Paris on the opposite side. Right. Wrong, but.
Only just right there.
But yeah, he had talked to them several times regarding that, so sorry the one side is still not working.
No, I figured I'd ask. And right where the drain goes underneath Pontiac Trail, is there any plan or any option for the DPW to trim it back a bit as far as all the growth and the
Where
plants and
where
whatnot?
exactly are you talking about?
Right where the drain near Hungry Howie's and such. One side of the street near the park is getting kind of overgrown. I wasn't sure if there was any option to.
I'll talk about that. We usually inform the road commission of that. They usually handle that because that is part of the drain at which they handle as well, so
Figured I'd ask. Thank you.
I'll ask.
Councilmember Kittle?
In the past, we have had conversations, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the oil change place that has responsibility to maintain that area. Maybe we could reach out to them and kind of push them.
The actual drain? along
No,
the side?
well, I mean, all the stuff between, well, I guess maybe it's just from the sidewalk back rather than towards the road, but, I mean, if they decided they wanted to go a little further than that, that would be terrific, because unfortunately, if you had a weed whipper, just going under that guardrail would end up really kind of sharpening it up an awful lot, because all that stuff hanging out underneath there makes it really look ratty, so.
Councilmember Kennedy?
So obviously your efforts were successful with the landscaper that took care of the Veterans Memorial. Certainly appreciate that. Were you successful in reaching the landscaper that was going to provide landscaping at the entrance signs? I haven't been by to take a look at them, so I don't know where they stand.
Yes, I had correspondence with Amanda just last week. She was going to be handling the entrance sign on 10 Mile, the west entrance, as well as the Pontiac Trail entrance on the north side of town. She expects that they're going to get that done within the next couple weeks.
So she just wants to do 2 out of the 4?
That's what she had told me.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Kittle?
Paul, do you have any sense of some remediation on the intersection right here at Warren and Liberty? That's a very rough road for virtually anybody driving through here, and when I especially see some of the bigger trucks, when they're throwing themselves through there, they get pretty unstable at times, so.
They did some preliminary work there to level out that whole area, but unfortunately, that water main break extended a couple hundred feet almost in each direction would start
Yeah, right.
to tear
It's a
up.
huge-
And it's a huge intersection repair. Now it's going to have to be done. And you start doing that, then you start looking at, okay, what part of the street's going to be done? Why are you investing just in that street and you're not working on Hagedorn? So we have to be cognizant of all those things. So, but I think, a secondary patch to make things more level, I would say, is up. I mean, they did the kind of leveling course on there, but it is still pretty.
It's very difficult to get through there, so anything would be helpful.
All right, if no one else has anything for City Manager Zelnick, we're going to move on to our council comments, and we'll start with Councilmember Kennedy tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I just want to mention that the Salem South Lyon District Library will have a Touch a Truck event in their parking lot on Wednesday, June 22nd, from 11 a.m. till 12 noon. Registration is required, so go to the library's website and sign up, and the kids always enjoy it, so, I think it'll be a good way to start off the summer. And while I'm mentioning the library, I have some sad news to pass along tonight. Donna Olson, the former director of the library, passed away over the weekend. Donna came to Salem South Lyon District Library around 2015 after serving for 15 years as the librarian for the Carnegie Library in Howell. She became the library director in 2016, taking over from Doreen Hannon. She oversaw the addition to the library in 2019 and then retired in 2021. Donna was such a force in our community. She truly was instrumental in helping to make the Salem South Lyon District Library the jewel that it is today. Her motto was that the community always comes first, and she surely demonstrated that in our community every day. I want to pass along my condolences to her family and friends and wish them comfort as they deal with her passing. I also want to mention that we lost another key member of our community this week with the passing of Jack Renwick. As a longtime resident of South Lyon, Jack owned several businesses in our community, including the Renwick Grimes Insurance, South Lyon Laundromat, Parkside Cleaners, Best Mat, and Country Square, to name a few. He also was very involved in the community. And in 1968, when South Lyon did not have an ambulance service, Jack and some fellow business owners started the South Lyon Ambulance with an old black hearse. Later through the years, the South Lyon Ambulance became the Huron Valley Ambulance. From 1981 to 1989, Jack served on the South Lyon City Council and as mayor of the city of South Lyon. As a public servant, Jack was also an active member of the Kiwanis, Operation Injured Soldiers, the South Lyon Chamber of Commerce, and the South Lyon Economic Development, just to name a few. I just want to pass along again my condolences to his wife Janet, his family, and his friends, and wish them comfort during this difficult time. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Kennedy. Councilmember Kurtzwell.
Thank you. I would also like to begin by extending my sympathies and condolences to the Renwick family on the passing of Jack. He was an absolutely incredible businessman and clearly just one of those contributors to the South Lyon community that you will just never, ever forget. If you ever met Jack, I had many of opportunities to chat with him when I was at a chamber meeting. He was just so kind. He just wanted everybody to do the best they could and make South Lyon the best community it could be. As stated by Councilman Kennedy, Jack started the South Lyon Ambulance Company. His best known business venture is Parkside Cleaners, which is still in business, and his daughter Pam is there at the helm. We also know that Jack served on city council, and then he became mayor, and then he went back and he served on city council. And Jack told me why he went back on city council. So that's a story for another day, but it's a very interesting story. Jack's most recent public service clearly has been the one that I knew him the best is his work with Operation Injured Soldiers. I can't think of any other commitment an individual can make than to support and go out and raise funds for Americans that have been injured while defending this country. Jack is just so associated with Operation Injured Soldiers, and it was clear that many of the individuals affiliated with that organization were at the funeral when they gave that final ride past Parkside Cleaners this week. So Jack, your service to the South Lyon community and your commitment to American soldiers made you one of a kind. One of a kind that I don't know if we'll ever see again, but it would be great to have 1,000 of you living in South Lyon. So our community was blessed to have you in the area, and blessings go to definitely the family, to Jan, Pam, and of course, you know what, Jack? You're home with Steve. Good night. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilmember Kurtzwell. Councilmember Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Kennedy beat me to the punch in talking about the Touch a Truck event. I have the pleasure of representing Vibe Credit Union there, giving away some giveaways and helping out. It should be a great event, next Wednesday, 11 to 12 p.m. on the 22nd of June. I would like to remind everyone, it is a registration beforehand event, so definitely don't forget to register before the event. It'll be a great opportunity for kids to see some of these service, emergency, utility, and construction vehicles, get into them, get to look inside them, even get behind the wheel and not drive, but check them out. So I look forward to seeing you all there. It should be a fun event, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Mosier.
Yes, I too would like to offer my condolences to the Renwick family. I had the opportunity to work with Jack several times over my years working for the city. He truly was a gentleman in every sense of the word. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to say is thank you to Dana Johnston, Craig Johnston, and all the volunteers that put together the Memorial Day memorial, the parade and the service that we had at the cemetery. I don't know what we would do without all our volunteers, which we still need a lot of. So, and that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, and another nice reminder as well. Thank you, Councilmember Rozier. Councilmember Dill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had a few things I wanted to talk about, but it's hard for me to talk about the farmer's market and pumpkin fest and things like that when there's something just I think is more important that was weighing on my mind, so indulge me briefly for something I don't normally do. But this weekend I attended a March for Our Lives event, and if you're not familiar with these, they're organized by teenagers and preteens, students about gun violence issues. Many of them spoke, and what they said was heart-wrenching. Hearing their fears about going to school and other events was extremely difficult to hear. I just thought, what are we doing? We're terrorizing these kids, we're failing them. But before I go on really quickly, I just want to say, because I'm talking about gun issues, that I have been a previous gun owner. I was married to a state trooper and a Michigan National Guard military policeman. I'm very well educated with guns, and I am not against the Second Amendment in any way. I just don't want people to think that I'm this crazy person screaming about guns that I know nothing about. So you might think, why am I talking about this national issue at a small city council meeting? But it's because it's local. What we do or don't do, what the school board does or doesn't do, what our police do and doesn't do matters. If it happens here, it's going to get really local really fast. And I worry because I wonder if we're doing enough. And it's not just us, but all of us, from local councils to Congress to the president and whatever presidents we've had before. This is a nonpartisan rant. No one with the power to help is doing enough, and I'm scared and sad. And I am furious that the next day after the mayor read his gun violence proclamation, that 19 children were slaughtered in Texas. There's been at least 5 more mass shootings since then, since we last sat here. We have to fix this at every level, but we're so divided and so stuck on what the problem is. It's a mental health problem, crowd, and I'll tell you as a past therapist for troubled youth that it's absolutely a mental health problem. I don't think anyone in their right mind goes in and shoots up a group of people, especially children. But you don't get to just say that it's not guns, it's mental health and walk away. You have to address it. We talk about putting police officers in school, which I have supported, but what about more therapists? What about people who can actually help the students that are flagged by teachers? Why aren't we making mental health services easier to get and easier to afford for everyone? But instead of throwing money and resources at the problem, we're throwing guns. It's too easy for people with mental health issues to get weapons, and we have to make that more difficult. When I was married to a state trooper, he had another trooper was killed by a drunk driver on the side of the road by a car. And that drunk driver was caught and brought back to the state police post, and people were getting off duty and walking into this police post, and they had top brass there disarming the policemen as they walked in because they knew that even trained officers who aren't in their right state of mind should not have easy access to weapons. And thank God they did that, because I don't know if my husband at the time would have made the right decisions in that state of mind. This is a really long way of saying that we have to fix this. I hate listening to these kids talk about what is happening to them. I know Congress is finally trying, but I'm furious that it took this long to act, and I fear it won't be enough, and I hope I'm wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dill. I just, after all of that with the passing of Ms. Olson and Mr. Renwick and Councilmember Dill's comments, I just have a couple brief things that really just don't even really hang around that, so forgive me. But I do still think they're important enough to bring up. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to thank everyone involved with the Memorial Day Parade. And that starts at the top with Dana Johnston and her family, and our VFW post, our American Legion post, the Disabled American Veterans post. And I know I'm going to end up forgetting people and they get mad about it, but it doesn't happen without these folks. And so, I can't stress enough that we need more people to get involved with this, because if we like the events that we're able to do here, we need quality people to commit time to putting them together. And so, you start losing good people and you start losing good events. So, I don't know if the same 40 people that probably watch these meetings have probably already signed up for something, but, I'll keep echoing those sentiments. I'm going to do something very rare tonight too, and I'm going to reach out to our friends in Lyon Township and thank their planning commission and a dear friend of mine, Jim Chuck, for working incredibly hard to do what I think many of us thought was impossible, and you're not going to make everyone happy, but I think they did an incredible job in preserving our apple orchard for the community. And there's a highly good possibility that this could end up transitioning that area over there into a destination for our community of small businesses and stuff too. And it's not easy. I would tell you, and I'm speaking out of school here, but if anyone's upset about that subdivision that's going in across the road from Kent Lake Elementary School, that happened because they played too hard of ball, and then they ended up losing in court and they put in more houses. So you've got to find this middle ground. And when I heard the news on 950, and I'm very good friends with Jim, I was thrilled to hear the details about that development and what that could possibly mean for the small businesses here in our community, and obviously the growing community that is the township. But so kudos to them. I know that was not easy. I'm sure there's still some people that are very upset about it, but you also have to understand you've got to be able to work with people on these things. And I thought they knocked it out of the park. And I, for one, am thrilled to go check it out when it's all done. With that, I do have just a quick reminder. Oh, I'm so sorry, Glenn.
That's all right, go ahead.
I'll come to you right after this. Forgive me.
Yeah.
A lot of emotion up here tonight.
Sure.
Really quickly, one of our small businesses is trying something new, and I'm very excited for them. Pins Bowling Center, Katie and Troy Staus are launching their new arcade with the grand opening this Saturday. So if you haven't had a chance to go check that out, I think they're going to have freebies and stuff over there. I'm sure they're on social media getting that out there, but I would highly encourage you, if you can't make it Saturday, to go check out the new Pins Bowling Center and their new arcade. I know they put a lot of time and effort into that, and they've been a part of the community for a long time too. So forgive me, I skipped Councilmember Kittle.
Oh, no, that's not a big deal at all.
I
Yeah.
sometimes lose focus up here too when we're speaking about very emotional things. So go ahead, Councilmember Kittle, forgive me.
I'd like to start off kind of on the back of what Lisa had said. I saw something I thought was really pertinent. There's something to the effect of, I dream of a world where we love our children more than we love our guns. And I can't imagine anything being more clear that we're on a weird path. So, secondly, the weekend of June 4th and 5th, they did a book exchange at the Freight House down in the Village. And Kennison Borkowski and Victoria Klassman had put this thing together. At the end of it, they were apparently quite successful. It was a room full of books on the tables in there, and they seemed like they were still enjoying themselves when they were leaving, so it couldn't have been too tumultuous. But there was an awful lot of books that were still available, so they were discharging them to the 3 libraries in the area, and so they would do an evaluation of what they thought they might be able to sell, and then whatever the next next step would be for the ones that they didn't have a need for. So, but I thought that was real nice that these people put that together, and they're hoping to have this thing be a repeatable kind of an event. I just wanted to make the comment about 501 McMunn and the water plant. The restorations over there really transition that whole site, especially with the house gone. I mean, when you see this nice easy curve going down the hill to McMunn, it's quite pretty. And lastly, I wanted to thank, I don't know if it was Paul or if it was Doug that had reached out to RCOC, but there was a catch basin right at 10 Mile and Warren where all the kids have to walk through. It gets filled on a routine basis, and then the kids are walking through this big pond of water, and RCOC came in and did the Vector job and jetted it a little bit, and it's back to the way it's supposed to be. So I was grateful that that was taken care of, and people aren't getting up to their ankles in water when they're going to school. That's essentially all I had. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councilmember Kimball. Thanks for being a team player about me forgetting about you. And really quick, I did forget something else. I did want to mention thank you to Ms. Kristen Bricker-Kolb for filling in tonight as our city attorney was out this evening. So thank you very much for being here. With that, I will look for a motion to adjourn. Councilmember Kurtzwell.
Move to adjourn?
Have a great night, all.